never do things nice and easy. It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
And why should we? Welcome back to the Festival of Game Criticism we enjoy calling Xplay.
Actually, we'd prefer to call it the Diary of a Mad Black Woman, but we are not allowed to for copyright reasons.
And America's strict copyright laws are what make this country great.
Why, if we didn't reward geniuses like Bill Keane and DeBrat for their writing, no one would share their genius with the world.
We do anything to protect these copyright laws, like last century when the unfortunate matter of some unlicensed Betty Boop comics led to World War II.
Let's remember those days with our review of Battle of Europe. So beautiful, the sky. Its blue and crimson streaked arms like some celestial junkie stretched out before you. The only thing between you and its soft expanse is a few smoking tons of cantankerous flying machine. Oh, and these Nazis here. Get your mass-produced Dub-Dub-Dose hat and goggles on and climb the great blue staircase to the wild blue yonder that hangs loosely over war-haggard Europe. Krauts in season! Battle of Europe for the PC is a predictable fighting flying sim with some decidedly unpredictable deficiencies. As Europe restlessly slumbered, it became glaringly obvious that the trees had something up their branches. Yeah, that's not good. There's some nice looking moments in the game. Different camera views are often just a chance to do just that. Look at yourself flying. But the mechanics are an outright pain in Kaiser Keister. As you yawbone your way around Europe, you'll notice how frustrating it is to fly these bullet-spitting contraptions. This was a gigantic issue, as some levels would start the enemy bombers right over the target you've been charged with protecting. Damage seemed oddly uneven as well. Targets have a health meter, which is all well and good, but I'm filling this Henkel's face with lead and nothing. Point blank. Another uneven factor in the title is the fact that you can take far more heat than your adversary. You can pretty much take anything they throw at you while merely completing your mission without much worry. You can't do that, though. The sky over this Europe is filled with odd bedfellows.
Why, hello there, Mr. Sessler.
Why, it's Goose. Last time I heard your name, I was using your wife like the Holland Tunnel. Ho-hoo!
I may be Goose, but you're the one that's cooked, Mr. Sessler.
Oh, really?
That's right.
No. Oh!
You can't catch me.
No! Hooray!
You may have won this time, Mr. Sessler, but I'll be back. You hear me?
I'm coming, Lady Goose. I'm coming.
The game is only $19, which isn't a bad price for a bad game. I mean, it does fly, and you do get to kill Nazis and all. Could you get me a more generic name? A 2 out of 5. Oh, generic World War II game, you're like an old friend. An old friend I don't like, but I have to be around all the time.
So, in essence, they're more like relatives.
Yeah.
Coming up. Contract killing for fun and profit. It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to Xplay. Sometimes I enjoy the fury of a fast-paced shooter where I'm gunning down aliens or avenging my kidnapped daughter, but sometimes I want the cooler, more relaxed atmosphere of a nice contract killing.
The chilly world of assassinations in exchange for cash have made their way to the Xbox 360. Here's our review of Hitman, Blood Money.
I believed it was Mr. 47.
The bald killer clone? Come on, Jack. He's an urban legend.
Ah, yes, that famous old urban legend about a bald killer clone. We've all heard that one. In Hitman Blood Money, Agent 47 has returned to continue his streak of headshots, stranglings, and explosions. In the latest chapter, a group of mysterious bad guys have contracted killers to take out our hero. Wow, I can't imagine how this guy's made so many enemies. Of course, you may have already heard of this game from its tasteless magazine ad campaign, which depicted a scantily clad woman with a gunshot wound in her forehead. Pretty classy, guys. I smell Cleo. But at its best, this game is a smart mixture of stealth and action. Take the opera level, for example. Before the big show, you switch a prop gun out with a real one. So, at a certain part in the performance, your target gets killed on stage. When your second victim comes to investigate, you blow the chandelier. I love it when a plan comes together. For new players, the game offers a tutorial that's voiced with the same enthusiasm you might find in a 10th grade biology film strip.
Release the right trigger behind the victim to strangle him.
Jeez, wake up a little, kid. You're teaching us how to kill people.
To poison food or beverages, select the syringe via the inventory.
Back in the plus column, the game lets you save anywhere, anytime. But be warned, you will need those save slots. Hitman Blood Money gives aggravating new meaning to the words trial and error. Prepare to spend a lot of time attempting the same thing over and over again until you finally get it to work. Although it's improved from the first game, we still found the artificial intelligence to be a bit lacking. For example, let's walk out and get this guard's attention.
Hold up! Hey!
Okay, we'll just head inside. Yep, that's right. He's already forgotten about me. Okay, let's remind.
Smash that!
Wow, can this guy really not tell where I'm hiding? Or does he just lose interest as soon as I walk indoors?
Hold up! Hey! Stop that son of a bitch!
Oh, for God's sake, I'm right here. What the hell is wrong with you two? Also, this game sports some terrible collision detection. The henchmen in Hitman Blood Money have never met a door they don't like to melt through. The game allows you to disguise yourself in a wide variety of costumes. Here, Agent 47 poses as a scientist. Yeah, pretty convincing.
Alright, cool.
Wow, that worked. These guys must be ex-TSA screeners. We enjoyed the satisfying gunplay, but you'll quickly find that fighting in close quarters just plain old sucks. The camera freaks out in any room smaller than a concert hall. If you like the first three games, you're bound to love this one. But for newcomers, it's just not worth your hard-earned blood money. This hit scores a 3 out of 5.
My client has asked me to ensure this photograph is the last thing you ever see. Please, look at the photograph, Mr. Clarence.
Please, haven't I suffered enough?
Oh. Is it that bad of a photo? Really?
Not everyone can be photogenic, Adam. Look at Vladimir Putin. He's very successful, and he looks like one of the undead.
Yeah, because he is. Speaking of the unholy minions of hell, it's time for viewer mail. Today's mail comes from Easy Drew. He writes, will there be a God of War 2? Will it be for the PS2 or the PS3?
Yes, there will be a God of War 2. They showed a trailer for it back at the Game Developers Conference.
And we interviewed David Jaffe about it at the E3 coverage.
Yes.
And we know it's only going to come out on the PS2. I don't think it's going to be on the PS3.
Yeah, well, it's slated for a spring 2007 release, which is after the launch of the PS3.
Which is nice.
Yeah,
There's
we like
probably
that.
more good stuff for it.
Yeah.
Smell the mahogany. It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to Xplay. Back in the 17th century, the Dutch were colonizing anything they could get their hands on. One of their number, a man named Peter Minuit, managed to buy the entire island of Manhattan from some Native Americans for a box of beads, which just goes to show you, you should never, ever trust the Dutch.
The island they purchased later fell into the hands of the English, who predicted that the island could inspire a musical about Puerto Rican kids rumbling. But the city of New York has given us so much more, including Def Jam Fight for New York, The Takeover.
Back in 2004, Def Jam Fight for New York for the PS2 strolled into our lives, grabbed us by the junk, and smashed our faces into a brick wall. A brick wall of affection. Now EA and Def Jam have teamed up again to bring all of that face-smashing, junk-grabbing goodness to your PSP in the form of Def Jam Fight for New York, The Takeover. Everything we loved about Fight for New York is still here, from the massive selection of characters to the wildly inventive and extremely violent finishing moves. The storyline has changed a little. You're a street brawler who's just trying to make an honest living, but when you help out a stranger, you get sucked into the seedy world of underground street fighting and general thuggery. Unlike most games in the genre, The Takeover doesn't limit characters to one style of fighting, Choose from martial arts, kickboxing, street fighting, wrestling, or Henry Rollins. Excuse me. Excuse me. The jukebox ate my quarter, and I was hoping somebody could... Wait, that's not the song I picked. Ah, there it is. Thank you.
Hey, oh, I didn't get my reputation for nothing.
This game's not all about watching thugged out rappers, actors, and rappers turned actors kick the crap out of each other. It's also about letting the ladies do the same.
Yeah, come here, baby. I got some sugar for you.
Finally! Alright, that's probably enough of that.
I'm that bitch. Remember that.
What do you do when you're not fighting? Shop for new clothes and get tattooed, of course. We felt there was way too much emphasis on buying things and looking cool, but isn't that what being a hippity-hoppater is all about? Seriously, I'm asking. Hit the menswear shop and try on new gear while you absorb compliments from the salesman.
Yo, that's a hot look, player.
And from yourself.
Yeah, that's hot. I'm down with that.
Although, this does get old quick.
Yeah, that's hot. I'm down with that.
When you're looked just right, head back to the ring to show off your new hat to your friends.
Yo, that's a hot look, player.
You'll get text messages from other fighters between matches. Let's see. Apparently, my buddy Crack wanted to tell me that Club Murder is going to be packed with mad hoodlums looking to G. Consider myself warned, Crack. Oh, and here's a message from Henry. I wonder what that could be about.
In case you didn't notice, I'm not a nice guy. So get out of here.
One thing we missed, though, was the character dialogue. In Fight for New York, you got story points from cutscene.
You're nothing but a punk, your daddy's a punk, and your mama's a bitch.
Fight for New York, the takeover, they're delivered as text. And while we did enjoy the pre- and post-fight trash-talking, it wasn't the same.
Bow down to the champ, chump.
Still, it's not enough to make us like this game any less. Def Jam Fight for New York, the takeover, gets a 4 out of 5. When they said takeover, I expected more corporate governance agreements and SEC filings.
Well, why would they make a PSP game about that?
They have a PSP game about farming turnips. They have a PSP game about a musical ball of snot. It is not so unthinkable that they could make a game about SEC filings.
Yes, but it wouldn't be on the PSP unless it involved the beating of SEC chairman Christopher Cox to death with a chair.
Ooh, with Martha Stewart.
Welcome back to Extended Play from the Game Developers Conference in San Jose.
Our next game, Gun Valkyrie, has had people interested for quite some time. It's the first wholly original Sega game for the Xbox, and is made by Smilebait, who gave us Jet Set Radio Future.
Now, the game's been billed as the Metroid killer. When you first boot it up, you're going to notice some similarities, but there's definitely enough to distinguish Gun Valkyrie from the classic Nintendo series, especially its difficulty. Originally intended for the Dreamcast, Gun Valkyrie is Sega's first exclusive title for the Xbox. It's beautiful, but it's also pretty complicated. Gun Valkyrie takes its setting from the steampunk world, a blend of early 20th century art and high tech. You play as special ops fighters seeking to defend the colony of Tir-na-nog. The game is a third-person action title with a futuristic twist, namely, the jetpack. Most of the action takes place in mid-air, so you not only have to be a good shot, you have to do it while bursting and spinning through the air. If this sounds complicated, it is. Both left and right analog sticks are used, including extra functions when you press them down. It'll be tough going at first, but it's a breathtaking journey. The environments are gorgeous, elegant mechanical interiors, and ethereal caverns light up beautifully under fire. The sound effects are tight, from running feet to jetpack boosts. And the excellent music comes from Wavemaster, Sega's primary sound design house. Gun Valkyrie is an eye-catching, solid game that'll put those mad skills you've been bragging about to the test. Prepare for a callus on your gaming thumb, because we give Gun Valkyrie a 4 out of 5.
While the control scheme of Gun Valkyrie might not be to everyone's taste, there's one thing we can all agree on: it does look good.
It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to Xplay. Japan has always been fascinated by Western culture. These days, mostly blonde hair and cream puffs. But the general theme of white people be crazy is part of Japan's core shtick. An excellent example of this is the strange salad of religions underlying Xenosaga Episode III.
We must correct the errors.
Yeah, that's the ticket. Really breathe in that pungent corpse musk. Really savor the smell. Now make a creepy, disturbing comment.
She smells good.
Perfect. Xenosaga Episode III, also Sprach Wait, how the hell do I say that? Zarathustra? Okay, whatever. It's the third and final entry in a series of long-winded, poorly named role-playing games.
It's no good.
But for those of you who didn't play through the incredibly long first two installments, you should probably know two things. The first is that there are way more cutscenes than gameplay. Impatient people beware. This is a title for watching, not for playing.
Understood.
The second thing is that the plot of this series is so twisted and convoluted, it makes absolutely no sense. Here, let's listen in as the lead character, Xion, recaps critical events from the first two games.
Ever since the Zoar was swallowed up by the giant Gnosis, the Gnosis phenomenon has increased in frequency.
Interesting, do go on.
I encountered a group of people called Scientia.
Fascinating.
He said that the Ormus are the rightful possessors of the Zohar.
Oh, for God's sake, we have no idea what you're talking about.
I find that rather interesting.
Really? Because I found it rather stupid. Oh, and that German subtitle, that's actually taken from a treatise on philosophy by Nietzsche.
Like I've told you before, all your self-righteous crap makes me sick.
In other words, this game is insufferably pretentious.
And you'll never understand its meaning.
Oh, whatever. Since you'll spend most of the time watching movies, they may as well be enjoyable, right? Well, there's good news and bad news. The cutscenes in Xenosaga 3 alternate between kick-ass high-speed space combat and interminably boring dialogue. Well, we completed our mission. The translation's okay most of the time, but there are occasions where dialogue just stops making any sense.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. We almost wasted a magnificent dinner.
Magnificent? It's just prosciutto.
Come on, a single thought can change the world.
What the hell just happened? But the real shame is that there's a lot of potential that goes to waste. When you actually are in control, the game turns out to be pretty fun.
Amazing!
The combat system has been streamlined, and the level design is way more interesting than it was in the last two games. On top of that, the graphics have been given a nice polish.
Whoa, you look pretty sexy.
Alright, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if you liked the last two, you'll definitely enjoy this one. So, that makes what, like 6 of you?
I'm pretty good, huh?
Well, pretty good is a bit generous. Let's call Xenosaga 3 a 3.
She smells good.
Out of 5.
Why don't we fashion ourselves a rudimentary Xplay replay?
Oh, goody. One Piece Grand Adventure got a 2 out of 5 because that's what it deserved.
Def Jam Fight for New York The Takeover got a 4 out of 5, proving there just might be a reason to buy a PSP.
And Xenosaga Episode 3 got a 3 out of 5 because I'd rather listen to a Sting album than that pretentious crap.
This surprisingly rapid replay was brought to you by Xplay.
Us. That wanting to fly your own plane isn't a hobby. It's a symptom.
Well, there's something really cool about being able to defy gravity and soar above the clouds.
Are you encouraging me to do drugs?
No, not at all.
Why not?
To defy gravity without an airplane or window pane, here's our preview of Space Rangers 2.
Alright, let's go.
Searching for appropriate mission.
If the first thing Space Rangers 2 Rise of the Dominators makes you think is, oh my god, I missed Space Rangers 1? Don't panic. The first game never came to America.
What the hell?
Oh, I should also mention that the voices in the American version of this scene are way better. We're just using the European version with bad Russian actors because, well, it's funnier.
Activate defense shields. Manual control.
As a Space Ranger, you pick a race and occupation, and away you go into the waiting galaxy of text. Wow. That is way too much reading for a not-too-imaginative space mercenary game. You have a ship, you need money, let's go! Primarily, this is a turn-based space flight mining combat game in which you travel from planet to planet and system to system getting quests and selling your cargo. There are also some evil conquering jerks called the Dominators, but who cares about that? There are minerals to gather! The quests actually span a wide variety of tasks. Sometimes you're just making delivery runs, but occasionally you get to stage a full-on ground invasion. Then the game becomes a real-time strategy affair, with robots blowing the hell out of each other to win territory. You can customize the robots as widely as your wallet will allow. And get this, you can even take manual control of any of your robots and turn the game into an action shooter. Okay, maybe manual control isn't always the best option. Other quests are more esoteric, like this one in which I have to manage a ski resort and make it profitable within a certain time limit. Really, that's what's going on here. It's like that lemonade stand game you used to play on the Commodore 64. Good times. Could we go back to the footage of the robots blowing each other up? That was a lot more interesting. Yay! There are occasional frustrations, especially early on. You're constantly harassed by these pirate jerks who demand money from your weakling self in exchange for letting you live. Just leave me alone. Come on, make it to the warp hole. Oh, Pirates Not of the Caribbean suck. Space Rangers 2 is sort of a jack of all trades and master of none. Still, there's a lot of variety in the gameplay, and it's much easier to learn than something like X3. A 4 out of 5.
Great. Let's listen to our favorite song.
I have always dreamed of being a space trucker.
So you have an excuse to shoot ice pirates on sight?
No, I just imagine they have really good truck stops in space. I bet they've got kinds of hostess fruit pies more fabulous than I can possibly imagine.
Because I'd really like an excuse to shoot an ice pirate. Angelica Houston scares me.
Welcome back to Extended Play. All right, we have two big games coming up for you now. One is Eternal Darkness. This is Nintendo's first foray into mature territory on the GameCube, though it started its life on the N64, but that doesn't matter. It's cool. First, we're going to look at the sequel to one of the most notorious games ever, is Soldier of Fortune 2 Double Helix. This game is prettier and more polished than it was the first time round, but it still has all the content that made it notorious. Soldier of Fortune, where you get shiny toys, travel around the world, meet new people, and eradicate them in a hail of bullets. Soldier of Fortune 2 follows the fundamentals of the original game. This is a solid shooter through and through. Quite a few improvements have been made. Your weapon choices have more strategy attached. Shotguns are only good at close range, and only a limited number of weapons and ammo can be carried. Furthermore, after choosing your weapons at the beginning of the level, you won't be picking up every armament you didn't select in the first 3 minutes. There is decidedly more challenge in this version. And that becomes an issue in the game. While the AI is thankfully improved, it's a little too good now. This ends up making a number of stealth levels unduly frustrating. Also, they typically lack any sensible evasion techniques, which manages to lessen the sophistication of enemy engagements. Raven's problems with level design are evident again. While no longer claustrophobically linear, their more open design gives you little indication of where to go, causing you to run in circles, second-guessing the designer's intentions. The multiplayer, though, is arguably superior to the single-player. Using both urban and outdoor environments, the contemporary settings lend the matches an urgency that is simply exhilarating. Soldier of Fortune 2 is a solid, not exemplary single-player shooter, and an exceptional multiplayer package. Given the dearth of new shooters, those hungering for action won't be disappointed. We give it a 3 out of 5.
Welcome back to Extended Play here amidst the sea of cubicles at Electronic Arts.
Record of Lodoss War, while not being very well known in the U.S., is actually considered a classic anime series in Japan.
Well, now a new game has been released based on the characters and story, and while it is an RPG, you'll find that it has a lot more in common with Diablo than Final Fantasy.
Return to life! I am your friend! Record of Lodoss War, Advent of Cardis is an action RPG crafted from the anime series of the same name. You play a great warrior of the past who is resurrected by Wart the Magician to save the land from a dark fate, with courageous warriors like fan favorites Parn and Deedlit by your side. Lodoss may be an RPG, but it focuses on action. Each battle happens in real time, often as a full-on melee. Unfortunately, due to a fairly non-existent AI, fighting boils down to a button-mashing fest. Lodoss's graphics and sound are nothing special. Aside from the outstanding CG sequences,
oh how amusing.
The environments and characters are a bit bland. There's also an annoying amount of slowdown in a packed battle. Weapon and battle effects are fine, and the rest consists of grunting, groaning, and some very noisy boots. Speaking of grunts and groans, the voice acting is a definite groaner.
Hey, you seem to be fighting against the evil goddess.
Record of Lodoss War, Advent of Cardus is a pretty shallow gaming experience that will probably only appeal to fans of the series or members of Button Mashers Anonymous. Extended Play gives Record of Lodoss a 2 out of 5.
Despite our problems with Record of Lodoss War, Conspiracy Entertainment does deserve some props for bringing that and other Japanese games like Bengayo over to the U.S.
Nazis are able to pick up grenades and throw them back at you. You throw a grenade at them, they'll pick it up and they'll throw it back. First and foremost, this is a single-player experience. That's the main thing that we want to have be really, really, really great, is that you can sit by yourself in a room with the lights turned down and the sound turned up and get really creeped out and really immersed and really have a great time.
Now, if the attractive griminess of Castle Wolfenstein looks familiar, it's because many members of the development team are formerly from the company Xatrix, the ones that gave us Kingpin. Now, Treasure is the Japanese game company that gave us Gunstar Heroes for the Genesis and Radiant Silvergun for the Saturn. Now they have a new title, except it's only for Japanese players. Here's a look at the import, Sin and Punishment.
Saki! Oh, Saki! Good morning, Saki.
Good morning, Iron.
Feast your eyes on one of the best games of last year.
Let's go!
Don't recognize it? No surprise, unless you're a gamer living in Japan. Treasure's latest offering comes in the form of a frantic arcade shooter that features addictive gameplay and twisted plot lines. Enter Sin and Punishment, Successor of the Earth. Your roles alternate between Saki and Arian, a pair of rebels that are trying to save humanity from the ruffians, genetically altered beasts that have taken over Tokyo. The controls are simple. You attack by holding down the Z button and press the B button to change aiming between auto and manual. If you tap Z, you can wield a sword that can deflect incoming projectiles and is doubly helpful for close combat. One of Treasure's strengths has always been in the visual department, and Sin and Punishment continues this tradition. At times, there'll be so much on-screen chaos that you may not believe that your N64 was ever capable of such processing power.
You're crazy. You ruined Tokyo. Will you destroy the world, too?
Don't worry.
The most surprising feature in Sin and Punishment is its voice acting, done by American voice actors.
I'll check it out. Wait here.
You're tough, Saki.
Currently, no plans have been made to release Sin and Punishment in the States, but don't let that stop you from finding it on import.
Wait! Stop!
It'll be worth your while to pick this up, especially if you're a fan of classic arcade-style shoot-'em-ups. GameSpot TV gives the Japanese version of Sin and Punishment, Successor of the Earth, a 4 out of 5.
Diego, it's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to Xplay. Back in the 1970s, America's moral fiber was torn apart, mostly by the draconian rule of one Gerald R. Ford. Under his cruel charge, Americans stopped caring about their futures and lived only for the moment. At least that's what movies like Saturday Night Fever, Boogie Nights, and The Bad News Bears Go to Japan taught me.
The point is, in this moral wasteland, people turn to dance clubs as a refuge. Now that we live in a moral wasteland once again, we've got rhythm games to take care of us instead of discos. Here's our look at Dance Factory.
Keep going, just a few more weeks until Dance Factory comes out.
Previously on the Dance Factory preview.
Get right on that dance pad!
Don't you wish your girlfriend was a freak like me?
And don't you want to play Dance Factory with me? Don't ya? Don't ya?
Don't you wish your girlfriend was wrong like me?
For some reason, if you like dancing games and you just can't get enough of the Dance Dance Revolution, why not try Dance Factory?
Hey guys, party at my place tonight.
It's got 5 songs. 5! That's half of 10. Our interns will demonstrate.
Run, everybody move, run.
Hey, where's our interns? I
let's have Morgan set this up. Hold on, I'll be right back. In the meantime, enjoy cooling the game. This was the song your grandparents had sex to.
Oh my God! What happened here? Oh, Morgan! Damn you for making these interns dance! Damn you for making these interns dance!
When you get tired of these 5, that's right, 5 songs, and who wouldn't get annoyed with this little gem? You can add whatever tune you want to dance to into the system. So we put in some of our favorite tracks for what we call Xplay Semi-Greatest Hits. Remember this ditty? How about this tune?
Once upon a day on the fields of May, there was snow in the summer where the blossom lay.
So, when you're watching Hitman, who are you rooting for? Skeletor? okay, who's your favorite comedian? Red Skeleton? Okay, guys, one more. You watch the Star Trek 2.0. Who are you voting for? Bones! Tough room.
Sadly, and if you buy this game, you know all about sadness, the arrow barely follows the music's tempo. It's totally random.
RPGs and hockey games, volleyball and cricket.
And one thing I can't stand is total randomness.
Hey, eat something, will ya? You're all skin and bones, minus the skin.
There's also iToy capabilities, but we think this guy has gotten way too much exposure dancing on Xplay this year, so we'll gloss over this bit. So really, why would you need this game? We mentioned the 5 songs, right? That's one more than 4.
I like the way you move.
What can we say? Dance Factory is nothing more than a DDR knockoff, and a poor one at that. And to think our interns died for this review. Not to mention no school credit. We give Dance Factory an overly generous 2 out of 5. If you want to dance, dance. Leave the Dance Factory at the store.
Adam, how dare you speak ill of pop sensation Rihanna?
Her music sucks.
Well, yes, but it sucks with the insouciant beats of the Caribbean. Anyone who can listen to Ponder Replay without tapping his toes is clearly lacking a soul.
Yes, I traded mine for a funnel cake back in '99.
Okay, cool.
Sessler and Morgan Webb.
That voice keeps saying I'm Morgan, and I'm not. I never will be. But let's just focus on the games, okay? For 3 days back in 1945, the Allies bombed the hell out of Dresden. The resulting fires were so intense that they sucked up oxygen from the surrounding countryside, suffocating all those who weren't burned by their intensity.
Bombing is cool. With stuff like that going on, you can understand why Ted Kaczynski and Rita Rudner love bombing so much. And you can also understand the appeal of our next game, Bomberman, Act Zero.
Do you remember Bomberman? Sweet, innocent, square-headed Bomberman. Well, he's got a makeover, and this is the Bomberman of today. Bomberman Act Zero takes place in a depressing post-apocalyptic world where combatants are only bred for one reason: non-stop bombing action. What's confounding is that while the look is new, the gameplay is still the same old Bomberman. Only you look like Master Chief and Venom had a baby. In an age where the term Bomberman evokes images of terrorists, did we really need this dreary update? Well, to answer that question, we've got a special guest on the phone, Dr. Heimlich Betzer, who has a PhD in psychology and is author of the book, Sweet Christ, That Sucked. Hello, Herr Doctor.
Guten Tag, Adam.
So, how do you feel about the fact that there are 99 levels and no save option?
That suck knows no bounds. It's like suck is right here, and that is somewhere way beyond it. It's like way over there. I mean, who would do that?
And what about the issue of the absence of local multiplayer? You can only play with someone else over Xbox Live.
Oh, that definitely sucks. I haven't been this disappointed since someone served me chocolate cake without the coconut.
Now, can you actually quantify how bad these aspects suck?
Certainly. I would say it falls somewhere between the film Lady in the Water and the Black Plague.
The bubonic plague, the one that killed hundreds of thousands of people in the Middle Ages?
Jawohl, Bomberman has slightly less suck than that. Slightly less. Just a tiny bit of suck less. Less, is that how you say it in the English? Suck less? Less suck?
Staggering figures, Doctor, and most likely accurate, too.
Adam, I don't just make this stuff up off the Glockenspiel.
Well, there you have it, folks. Along with the new look and lame features, the developers did manage to throw in one interesting idea. You can play as a bomber woman. Yep, us boys no longer have to bear the brunt of this terrible game alone. Now girls can identify with their own gender-specific avatar. I mean, this is post-apocalypse, people. Women should have the same rights as men to be born and bred as fighting machines, right? You've come a long way, baby. One thing for certain, this Bomberman's a dud. And if you don't believe me, then maybe you listened to that horrible quack of a doctor we had on earlier. Who did he think he fooled with that awful German accent anyway?
Adam, I'm still on the line here.
We get Bomberman Act 0, a 1 out of 5.
You know, I hear Misha Barton got her undergraduate degree in psychology.
You know, that would explain a lot. But in this age of global terrorism, we should clarify. Incendiary devices, they are not playthings.
So, kids, if you were considering hijacking several hundreds of liters of industrial fertilizers to blow up a federal building or as a prank or sorority stunt, just say no.
Violent acts of anarchist sentiment, they're just not cute anymore.
But we begin with a game dedicated to a musical style that speaks to the alienated, acne-riddled 15-year-old boy who lives in all of our hearts.
Here's our review of Guilty Gear Judgment. Those face-melting guitar riffs can only mean one thing. Guilty Gear.
Let's rock!
That's right. The fighting franchise a lot of gamers would consider the best in the biz is back. And this time, it's looking to get all up in your PSP's game hole. Unlike the previous games in the franchise, Guilty Gear Judgment is not a pure fighter. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up like Golden Axe or Final Fight. Oh, 1980s, where did you go? We miss you. How come you never call anymore? Is it difficult? No. Is it interesting? Of course not. Is it good as far as side-scrolling beat-em-ups go? Now, before you fly off the handle because you ream Guilty Gear, hold on. Because Guilty Gear Judgment is actually 2 games in 1. Yes, throw down cash for Judgment and you'll get Guilty Gear Reload X2 absolutely free. The classic fighter is finally available on the PSP, and it's still awesome. But we already knew that. So let's get back to the crappy side-scroller. Oh, did I ruin the surprise? As expected, the graphics have suffered on the jump to the PSP, and the perspective has been tweaked, which leads to some of the action being cut off. True gearheads will be happy to know that the heavy metal soundtrack is still around, and that means every single level sounds like this.
Let's rock!
Instead of this. All right, that's enough of the public domain Bryan Adams sound-alike.
Let's rock!
So, let's sum it all up. Kinda boring, not so difficult side-scrolling beat-em-up on its own, not a great game. Kinda boring, not so difficult side-scrolling beat-em-up that comes with a free version of the classic 2D fighter we all know and love, a pretty great game. Again, side-scroller, bad. Side-scroller plus fighter, good. Guilty Gear Judgment gets a 4 out of 5.
Rock will never die, but most hairband rock stars will eventually get sensible shag haircuts and tell boring stories about themselves on VH1. Or they did until VH1 became entirely populated by celeb reality. VH1, I am mad at you. You used to provide me with the very best and trashy washed-up rock stars. Now you're just a wall of breaking Bonaducci.
Get Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to Xplay. Dead people have done so much for our culture. Shakespeare, Cleopatra, Abe Vigoda. I think. I'm not sure if he's dead or not. But if not, I'm sure he's going to be converted soon. Because achievers like Abe Vigoda are attracted to the star-studded ranks of the dead. It's like Scientology that way.
But if there's anything we love as much as celebrating the dead, it's helping folks become dead. Particularly the undead, who just can't quite make it fully over into the dead category. A classic game about taking down the undead has been revamped for the PSP. Here's Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins.
Deep within the bowels of hell, where only the ghoulish of evil resides, lies something so sinister, something so unspeakable that even within the cavernous recesses of your mind, where the unthinkable is unthinkable, that horror can no longer be forgotten. It must return. It's the wicked terror we know as
the 80s!
Hey, remember the 80s? Well, that's where this devilish nightmare Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins comes from. And now, if you have a PSP, it can be yours all over again. That's Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins, remastered and upgraded for all your 2D gameplay desires. Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins. Where only the ghostly of ghosts and the gobbly of goblins stop at nothing to torment all that you hold holy. Hey, we always hear about the ghosts and goblins, but what about the skeletons? There are skeletons aplenty, along with all sorts of creepy crawlies more than eager to pierce through your heart like a vile stingray. This game, as you can see, takes place in hell, or something really close to hell, but enough about Glendale, California. The main character now, as it was then, is Arthur. And Arthur, that alcoholic rapscallion millionaire knight in shining armor, does what he pleases. I guess I have to say it, don't I? Alright. I want this snake off this game. See, kids, what I was doing there was satirizing a quote from the movie Snakes on a Plane, released way back in August 2006. Good times. Good times. Now, make no mistake or display totally outrageous behavior, this game is difficult, and it always has been. That's why it's had a passionate fan base that's loved it and hated it all at the same time. Something I, Adam Sessler, certainly can't relate to. So, which one of you is Nicole Richie? It's more than possible this game will only appeal to old-school game lovers. We doubt anybody else will give it a try. The frustration level may just be too high. If you're feeling a bit nostalgic for the 80s, there's two things you can do. One, get over it. It wasn't that good a decade. Or two, get on out there and get yourself a copy of Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins. You'll be glad you did. Or not. It is frustrating. Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins gets 3 pretty little rainbows out of 5. I think I know what we're gonna be eating tonight. Ribs.
In thanks for your dedicated viewing throughout the show, we offer you this humble Xplay replay.
Space Rangers 2 got a 4 out of 5 because it offers diverse styles of gameplay. It lets you mine and run a ski resort. That's a lot of game.
Dance Factory got a 2 out of 5 because it includes a scant 5 songs and encourages movement so random it can barely be called a rhythm game.
Bomberman X-Zero got a 1 out of 5 because it was a needless update that takes advantage of the 360 in no way.
And Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins got a 3 out of 5 because its appeal is primarily nostalgic, but back in its day, it was a hell of a game.
You know, actually, I used to steal money out of my parents' wallet to be able to play Ghosts and Goblins.
That's weird.
That's why my brother didn't make it to college.
Did you get spanked a lot?
Yeah, I know he's in prison. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, this reminder that the kick-ass experiences of today will just be embarrassments of tomorrow. Well, you know, that's Xplay, which is us.
Extended play from Metreon in San Francisco.
With games like Madden 2001 and SSX, EA has become the #1 game developer for the PlayStation 2 in the U.S., although they're only number 8 in Japan.
Now, their FIFA soccer titles have a long-standing reputation for quality, and while the latest version may have a few flaws, it's still a solid winner. Here's FIFA 2001.
Some of the best titles to hit the PlayStation 2 are professional sports games, and FIFA 2001 Major League Soccer is no exception. This is a game that looks and plays like a champion. The first thing that'll catch your attention is the large number of teams you can choose from. There are 17 international leagues with full rosters of every team. AI is much improved over previous FIFA titles, especially on the defensive side of the ball. If your passing isn't quick and on target, you'll turn it over every time. You can slide tackle all you want, but if you do it too much, you're gonna get carded.
It was a bit impetuous there, and so early in the game as well.
The graphics are simply stunning. The players look ready to run right off the screen as they play on some of the most realistic fields we've ever seen. The arenas are huge, and the crowds are crazed with the kind of enthusiasm that makes NFL fans look like they're watching chess.
Great goal! In the top corner.
The announcers are enthusiastic Brits who are actual real-life announcers for the BBC.
I'm just putting on the sunscreen.
They're rarely distracting, although sometimes a little repetitive.
Missed the ball with the tackle.
You can play an entire season, set up a tournament, or customize your own league and playoffs. There's also a training mode where you can practice special situations like free kicks, throw-ins, and corners. FIFA 2001 Major League Soccer is fast-paced, instantly playable, and perfect for capturing the massive scope of this insanely popular worldwide sport.
Let's one go from way out.
Extended play gives it an impressive 4 out of 5.
Yes, he scored into the top corner. That's a great finish.
All the fun of the game without the mounted police and hooliganism.
But first, superheroes have long been a forum for authors and artists to explore the human psyche, to delve into the strengths, weaknesses, and fears that make us human. But not Brett Ratner. He made X-Men 3, which has, surprisingly enough, an officially licensed game. No way! Here's X-Men, the official game.
Why do you insist on coming here, Charles?
I'm looking for hope.
I will bring you hope. They finally made a decent X-Men game.
Fully engaged.
Charles, don't be silly. On the Xbox 360.
I feel a great swell of pity for the poor soul that plays that game.
Slut.
And I feel a great swell of pity for our viewers.
Why me?
With the taste of X-Men: The Last Stand still fresh in your mouths, here's a lovely franchise tie-in. X-Men, the official game. X-Men, the official game is an action game that takes place between the second and third movie. It's pretty simple. Destroy people and property and occasionally get generator panels online.
Okay, let's get these generator panels online.
X-Men isn't a train wreck, it's just uninspiring. From the 700 or so mutant characters crawling around the Marvel Universe, you'll have only 3 to pick from. Wolverine.
I'll deal with you after I sharpen my claws on these clowns.
Nightcrawler.
Generator panels here.
And Iceman.
I can't let you do this.
Each level is geared towards the special talents of these mutants. Wolverine's levels are wall-to-wall combat, but he's got all the nuance of a prison riot.
Prison's not so bad, Charles, but you have to build your rep quickly. Otherwise, you'll end up someone's bitch.
Frakes was my bitch on Star Trek Next Generation Seasons 1, 2, and 9.
Frakes was everyone's bitch. Oh, I won.
Where? I don't see it. Where?
Here, diagonally.
Pretty sneaky, Eric.
Actually, Sneaky is more Nightcrawler's game. Nightcrawler has the largest variety of abilities, and his teleporting is surprisingly easy. So, you've just finished a fun Nightcrawler level. What do you want to do now? Why, play an Iceman level that handles like a third-tier flight simulator, that's what. You're thinking, it's X-Men, it's an action game, it doesn't completely suck, what am I missing? Let me show you a cutscene.
What can we do?
Return your seats to the full upright position.
I haven't seen acting that wooden since Halle Berry in X-Men 1. Or 2 for that matter. Or Catwoman. Or Die Another Day. Or Monsters Ball. Even though it's on the 360, the whole game is visually underwhelming.
I ain't impressed.
Oh, and did I mention there aren't any online features?
I will beat you at Hungry Hippos.
And I'll be there to stop you, old friend.
What the f*** are you two doing? When I stole Jack Kirby's ideas for the X-Men, I never thought I'd see you playing some lame-ass Xplay bit. Huh? I haven't seen something this embarrassing since I walked in on Neil Adams and Joe Kubert role-playing Power Man and Iron Fist, if you know what I mean. Shut the f*** up! Get the f*** out! Get the f*** out of my office! Don't roll your eyes at me! Those are the 2 best characters I ever created.
If you want a stunningly average X-Men experience, X-Men the official game is waiting for you. We give it 3 mutated chromosomes out of 5.
Something stinks.
They show us all the mutants with cool powers that make you a superhero, but what about the kid who just has like a super powerful spleen or the ability to control toasters with his mind? That's the story I'd like to see.
Now, with the way the PS3 playability 3 this year, the console wars have started to really heat up, and word is out that there's even a new entrant that may be on its way this holiday season. Here's a first look.
It's a new thing for me. I've done the Xbox, I've done Nintendo, I've done PlayStation, but there's all these plugs and cables. I mean, power cord. What? But my iBox has no cords, no cables, no plugs, discs, or cartridges. It's just a box. I mean, life is difficult enough. Your game system shouldn't have to be.
I bet it's damn user-friendly.
It doesn't even have corners. I don't care how bad the graphics are. I respect that console with sleek, minimalist design.
I hope IKEA designs a console next.
No.
Get 2004. It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to Xplay. History is cool. It's because back in the olden days, people could get away with all sorts of stuff we could never do today, like eat people's hearts and vote for James K. Polk.
There's no rush quite like reliving the adventures of historical characters. Actually, it's a little like OxyContin with undertones of winning a grade school spelling bee. Anyway, here's a review of Rise and Fall, Civilizations at War.
Your father, King Philip, has been slain. And General Memnon now advances, vowing to destroy this city. You must leave at once.
Okay, 2 things. First off, I think Alexander knows his dad's name.
Your father, King Philip, has been slain.
Second, why is his reaction to hearing the news of his father's death to dust off his skirt?
Men of Greece, let us stand and fight.
That's better. Rise and Fall, Civilizations at War is a traditional real-time strategy game with a twist. At any time during battle, you can enter Hero Command mode and control your army's leader directly. The 2 main scenarios have you playing as either Alexander of Greece or Cleopatra of Egypt.
We will defend this city!
Directly controlling one of them gives you a huge advantage in battle. They seem to take almost no damage from the enemy, and they can kill hundreds of characters without breaking a sweat. So, how do the game makers keep you from simply slicing and dicing your way through each level as a hero?
Your hero is badly wounded.
Simple. The game saddles you with a stamina meter. Once you run out, you have to wander around the battlefield in order to find jugs that somehow magically replenish it. That's pretty abstract. When was the last time you gained energy by breaking stuff? Maybe those jugs are filled with Red Bull and vodka. Also, they should probably have finessed some of the physics in the game. Should my arrows really be flinging these soldiers 15 feet into the air? It's like an army of Cirque du Soleil performers.
Cirque du Soleil proudly presents Le Grand Merde.
A lot of the elements are based on historical situations, but it seems they took a lot of liberty with certain events.
Let the spectacle begin!
We aren't history professors here at Xplay, but we're pretty sure Alexander never slaughtered hundreds of Persians in a Colosseum death match to win his freedom.
It's true! He's the son of Zeus!
Okay, actually, I was lying. 70% of Xplay employees are history professors. If you obtain enough experience, or as the game calls it, glory, your character will level up.
Not enough glory. Not enough glory.
Apparently, we aren't ready for the next level.
Not enough glory. Not enough glory.
Alright already. Let's see how Alexander's doing. Man, how did he do that? Also, the game's artificial intelligence is seriously lacking. Hey guys, I'm firing at you here. You could at least duck. Maybe they're tired from all that jumping into the air. If this game didn't feature the gimmick of letting you directly control your leader, it would probably wind up rolling a 1. Fortunately for this game, we liked the gimmick.
All hail Alexander, the true king of Greece.
Rise and Fall, Civilizations at War gets a 2 out of 5.
Now, as Morgan said during the review, 70% of the Xplay staff are history professors, and that's not even counting our brand new 10-person history of science department.
I'm tenure track at Rutgers. I rarely mention it because, you know, it's Rutgers.
And I'm an associate lecturer at the University of North Hollywood School of Classical History and VCR Repair. I accidentally obtained my PhD while trying to buy Xanax over the internet.
So our message to you kids is don't do drugs. It can lead to dead-end academic positions in non-lucrative humanities fields.
Not philology. Philology, that's a cash cow.
These self-indulgent liberal arts major-based jokes are a classic sign that this isn't Room Raiders, but is, in fact, Xplay.
Hey, Morgan, which volume of Robert Caro's LBJ biography is your favorite?
Number 3, baby.
Road to glory.
Paulie, I need cops and an ambulance in Sector 4. Off at a bike path. I got a woman down.
With Law & Order dead on the money, Legacy Interactive sets players into the world of the television show Law & Order and presents them with a murderer to catch and convict. The game, like the show, is divided into 2 parts. The first has you teaming up with Detective Lenny Briscoe, voiced by Jerry Orbach, and hunting the killer of a jogger found dead in Central Park. Once your suspect is apprehended, the game shifts into the courtroom and sets you up in the DA's office alongside Serena Sutherland, voiced by Elizabeth Rohn.
Objection assumes facts not in evidence.
Gameplay is divided among searching QuickTime VR locations, interrogating civilians through conversation trees, and managing the reams of evidence which crop up throughout the case.
I think she was talking to a woman.
When conversing, players are allowed 3 questions to choose from, only one of which may produce helpful information.
I don't know.
Additionally, Legacy Interactive has peppered the game with useless clues and false leads. The only limited resource in the game is time, and pursuing too many spurious leads will end the game prematurely.
That's why I'm unhappy.
Objection leading.
In the second half of the game, players are set into the role of an assistant DA prosecuting the case.
I'd advise you to watch yourself.
After catching and convicting the murderer, there is nothing more to do. Although a very good representation of Law & Order in playable form, there just isn't much to play.
Objection.
Extended play gives Law & Order dead on the money a 2 out of 5.
Objection.
Objection overruled.
Welcome back to Xplay. Now, PC games have a long tradition of problem solving and puzzles that appeal to more mature gamers. By which I mean they are extremely entertaining vortexes of time.
Yes, they are. And they also teach important real-world skills, like how to operate strange alien contraptions with lots of moving parts, and how to control your frustrations such that you don't go all ragey and damage your PC. And such lessons are abundant in our next game, Paradise. Paradise is the new game from Benoit Socal, the guy behind Siberia and Siberia 2. This point-and-click adventure is full of puzzles, but none that quite equal the mystery of who keeps giving this man money to make more games. The daughter of an African king is stranded when her plane crashes in a remote part of the country.
You think she'll love me?
Like many video game characters, she has amnesia, and decides to start calling herself Anne Smith, which is conveniently the name of a great explorer who wrote a book about said country.
Okay, why not? I'm Anne Smith.
She also has a slight problem with kleptomania.
Oil. Must be for a lamp. Oh, nice lighter.
After breaking and entering, appropriating the property of others, and gaining fraudulent access to the prince's chambers, you learn the nature of your journey.
No, you are not my favorite.
Our little amnesiac delinquent must travel the war-torn land with a black leopard who may or may not be a demon.
Don't get too close! It's a real demon!
It also doesn't like gasolines.
What is a gasoline exactly?
It's a kind of dromedary thing that walks on its hind legs.
Paradise plays like just about every other adventure game on the market. You spend a lot of time sweeping the cursor around trying to find things you can actually interact with. Then you'll spend more time trying to figure out what the thing you found actually does. This thing, for instance. What is it? Do you have any idea? It's a scale that tells you how strong you need your bungee cord vine to be to support your weight. Of course, Anne weighs 2.5 nuts, so you simply go to the nut juicing station, juice 2.5 nuts, then spin your vine into a handy elastic cord. What? Wasn't that obvious?
What's the point? It's locked.
I know one of the primary gameplay elements of these point-and-click games is not having any clue what to do next. But Paradise takes it to such a ridiculous extreme, you're not exploring so much as following breadcrumbs to each new story scene.
These sweet cakes look scrumptious. They are. Oh, I feel bloated after all the cakes you made me eat.
Sometimes the cutscenes don't even make sense. Pop quiz, what's happening here? If you said the mechanic was shot dead by the shady rug merchant, you're right, and possibly clairvoyant. Then you have these ridiculous action sequences in which nothing can actually kill you. You just click until you figure out the way the designers want you to go. To shake up the wandering and clicking, occasionally you'll play as Anne's leopard companion. This is in full 3D as opposed to the pre-rendered backgrounds of the rest of the game. What's that in the water? Oh, it's the load screen poking through the glitchy graphics. Nice try, but Night of the Wandering Leopard is not enough to keep me from falling asleep at the wheel. If you like these kind of games, well, that's your problem. For the rest of us, Paradise nets 2 gasolines out of 5.
Children are always running around on gasolines at night. It's the best time for hunting palopolos.
Oh, shut up.
They need to figure out a way of making adventure games complex without being completely random.
Or they should just make an abstract expressionist puzzle game where you can only beat it if you are completely random.
Well, unfortunately, few games based on 20th century art movements have been released since the failure of Dada Street Combat 05.
Yes, but I did like the way your enemies kept turning into toothbrushes.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm large. I'm the biggest frog in the swamp.
Well, we all got a dream. In Frogger Beyond, you play a frog. Well, he's a young frog who's about to enter amphibious adulthood. Not by traveling to several worlds to collect shards of a mystical amulet, but by just traveling to several worlds.
Whatever you need.
In a change of pace, the game actually plays like the original Frogger. You move and jump around a variety of obstacles like bugs, armadillo, and mud, which are stand-ins for actual dangers. You do have some limited additional powers, such as eating pesky animals. While the game may look childish, it's actually absurdly difficult. Truly a game of trial and error, it's unforgiving and frustrating. It definitely overestimates the capabilities of its targeted audience. But if you're up for a challenge, there's a lot here to keep you occupied. Now, if you're buying Frogger for the graphics, then you're an idiot. That said, everything is clean and colorful. And then there's the Frogger rap. This defies analysis. In the end, Frogger Beyond should have been a breezy game for the nostalgic gamer. But for most, it will prove to be more than they bargained for. Nonetheless, it does succeed at all of its modest ambitions. We give it a 3 out of 5.
In showbiz, it's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Oh, we do. Welcome back to Xplay.
Back in 1999, they released a Time Crisis ripoff for the N64 called Winback. Though some of its stealth elements probably influenced Metal Gear Solid 2, it was pretty much a mediocre game.
Then, 7 years later, someone decided it needed a sequel.
7 years later.
7 years. Back then, we still thought J-Lo was a good actress and Blink-182 would change the world.
But for whatever reason, it got a sequel. Here's our review of Winback 2. Yeah, that's a great way to end a hijacking. Blow up the plane. Winback 2 Project Poseidon is a third-person shooter that has you tracking down a group of badly dressed terrorists who are out to destroy the world.
You won't get out alive.
The game lets you play as one of 3 renegade cops, Leader Craig, Sharpshooter Mia, or Heavyweight Nick.
Not bad, G. But you'll need a lot more than that to take me out.
Mission clear.
Oh, did we mention that everything you do is highlighted by the cheesiest music sting known to mankind?
Mission clear.
Most of the gameplay consists of running from one corridor to the next, shooting whatever generic-looking thugs show up. Oh, and sometimes you'll be asked to push buttons.
That's a power switch on the wall. Go push it.
Thanks. But here's where Winback 2 gets weird. You see, once you finish the level, you Well, you start it all over again, but this time from the perspective of your partner.
Craig, I need a hand. It's raining lead up in here.
So, basically, you have to play each level twice.
Craig, I can use a hand. It's raining lead up in here.
I just gave you a hand, except I was you and you were me and... Ah, forget it. Speaking of repetition, the enemies in Winback 2 apparently all went to the same speechwriter.
Prepare to die. Prepare to die. Prepare to die.
Wait, what was I supposed to prepare for?
Prepare to die.
Along the way, you'll have to fight a parade of dopey boss battles.
It's time for the bomb show!
Wow, Boy George gained weight.
I know what you're thinking. Freak!
If you love dingy corridors, Winback 2 is true video game nirvana. And remember, folks, you'll be seeing those hallways twice, since you have to repeat every level.
Let's finish this up.
Yes, let's finish this up. Winback 2, Project Poseidon earns a 2 out of 5.
Mission clear.
And since this is a review of a game that makes you play everything twice, let's back it up and watch it all over again. That's a great way to end a hijacking. No, we're just kidding. Nobody should have to watch a review of this game twice.
Mission clear.
It's Raining Lead is one of my favorite disco hits of the 70s.
You know, sometimes I feel like I've had to go through the same experiences over and over again.
Yes, that's what the French call mental illness. You really need to see a psychiatrist. Or at least eat more pie.
Where do you get pie?
Pie's good.
I love my Apple iBox. It's great. It's no wires. It just seamlessly integrates with everything in your house. Microsoft's been saying they're going to do that for years, have they? Hello, Mr. Gates? Yeah. Oh, whoa. Oh, yeah, Microsoft's working on a fridge that's going to tell you when you need food. Oh, well, I already have something that does that. It's called my iBox from Apple. Bitch! iBox. It'll tell you when you're hungry. Guess they don't call it Apple for no good reason.
Many people ask, is Drake of the 99 Dragons based on an existing comic book? No, it's not. But if it were, that comic would suck.
What was that?
Okay, where do I begin? This is Drake. His skin pallor resembles moldy plasticine. He disfigured Jay Leno when he stole his chin, and his mouth is perpetually open as if he's as shocked as we are at how utterly crappy this game is. But he sure believes in himself.
Nothing can stop me now.
Drake is part of the clan of the 99 Dragons, except someone killed the other 98.
This can't be.
And he's kind of immortal or something.
Drink, and you'll be strong.
That's the key to immortality?
It is bitter and sweet.
Honestly, I don't know what's going on here.
Do not fear. You can hear but are unable to move. The time has come.
What is clear is that Drake holds a gun in each hand and runs around shooting at things willy-nilly. The tutorial teaches combat as running away in a circle while mashing on buttons. You're such a badass. This running and gunning is aided by auto-aiming. But not really, because it doesn't work. What you get is Drake chaotically throwing his arms every which way like a sub-homicidal semaphore session.
Nothing can stop me now.
Look at this. Am I hitting anything? What's going on? In case you've recently gouged out your eyes and are just listening to the show, this game controls horribly. Running up the stairs is an effort. Running is an effort. The capper of this melange of mind-bogglingly bad decision-making is that depressing the left control stick slows time. You will slow time a lot by accident as you frantically attempt to make the controls work. Though it is useful for gunning down small Chinese girls.
Nothing can stop me now.
And then there's the camera. You get the sense the camera's constantly looking for a better game to depict, because it's not interested in you. Before it slips my mind, let me mention the graphics. At first, they seem interesting. Then you realize they're not. Drake himself shifts from animation to animation so abruptly, I thought I was having a seizure. Then I realized it was my brain trying to shut down because it couldn't withstand the massive suck emanating from this game. So yeah,
Pretty much there's no reason to buy this game. No reason to rent this game. No reason to say any more about this game. But I have some time to kill. One out of 5.
Nothing can stop me now.
Shut up. We stopped you. Our next game is set to be the last big hit for the PlayStation. It's the sequel to last year's surprise hit that took Resident Evil-style gameplay and put it in a very attractive package. It's Fear Effect 2 Retro Helix.
The human race, a sentient species. We dream and we ponder.
Spanning a whopping 4 compact discs, Fear Effect 2 Retro Helix is actually a prequel to the original Fear Effect. The action begins in the near-future Hong Kong, where disease is rampant and genetic tampering and stealing DNA are all the rage. Playing as Assassin Hana, Mercenary Royce, Bruiser Deke, or Tech Expert Rain, the plotline takes 4 unsavory yet likable characters across a variety of locales. Like other survival horror games, time is spent solving puzzles, navigating mazes, and avoiding certain doom by battling with freakish mutants.
Die, kitties.
Luckily, the variety of available weapons has more than doubled since the original. Retro Helix sets up the story well, delivering impressive high-resolution anime-style graphics that blend seamlessly from cutscenes to gameplay, with virtually no load time between scenes. The game's sound is good, with effects that punctuate surprise scares, and voice acting that injects a fair amount of emotion and believability into the game's complex storyline, even though it's occasionally over the top.
Shoot anything that moves.
Fear Effect 2 Retro Helix is a truly excellent game that is sure to appeal to fans of the action, adventure, and survival horror genres. This is perhaps the last truly classic game that the PS1 will see, and serious gamers should not pass it up. Extended play gives Fear Effect 2 Retro Helix a solid 4 out of 5.
Jack Nicklaus Golf Series has been around a long time, almost as long as Jack himself. And PC golf has really become a viable way for golfers and non-golfers alike to spend time together.
Well, now we have Jack Nicklaus 6 Golden Bear Challenge on the grill.
Golf games aren't just for the frustrated business traveler anymore, so gamers should get ready to tee off with Jack Nicklaus 6 Golden Bear Challenge. Compared to the earlier versions, Jack Nicklaus 6 is a more streamlined, better-looking game. There are 10 nicely crafted, motion-captured, and hardware-accelerated 3D golfers. The fluid motion and animations look very natural, and they work perfectly in the 2D game world. The club control and physics are great. Players can use a 2-click, 3-click, or dynamic mouse swing interface, and each works fine. The gamer is in total control of the amount of fade and draw, as well as trajectory. In an interesting switch, Jack Nicklaus 6 incorporates some of the golfer profile elements from the Greg Norman and Microsoft golf games. When creating a golfer, players can allot points to power, accuracy, putting, and the short game. This creates a more balanced variety of golfers and gives them more personality. With the course designer, players have complete control over the look and shape of the entire golf course. The game ships with 6 courses, but literally hundreds of user-made courses can be imported with no graphical loss. Overall, Jack Nicklaus 6 not only offers a cutting-edge golf game with multiple courses, but also a stunningly popular course editor. This makes it far and away the greatest value and most replayable game on the market. T. Liam McDonald from GameSpot.com gave Jack Nicklaus 6 Golden Bear Challenge a rating of 9.1 out of 10.
What a shot! Now, I'm not a golfer, but that game really does look remarkable.
I think I'm going to hold out for Mario Golf.
Yeah, it does look pretty good.
Welcome back to Xplay. Now, it is ridiculous to try to explain how much the Super Mario Brothers games mean to platforming.
Ridiculous!
Yes,
So, just watch the review. The porn Stash Poster Boys and Nintendo are back, and this time around, they're taking it back to their side-scrolling two-dimensional roots in New Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo DS. It's been about 15 years since the Portobello Poppin' Plumbers headlined in a 2D platformer, and a majority of the elements that we've come to know and love from previous Mario games are here in full representation. We're talking everything from the music, to the enemies, to the power-ups, and of course that classic Nintendo flavor. I call it Hospitality. Once again, the Mushroom Kingdom socialite Princess Peach has been captured, and it's up to the Italian stallions to take action into their own hands. Love makes you do crazy things, doesn't it? Things like floating through clouds, going through dungeons, and jumping for joy. Alongside the good old stuff and the same old love story, new Super Mario Bros. Wouldn't be new without a few new elements. New bosses, new themes, and new power-ups, such as the Mega Mushroom, which covers up the whole screen. And then there's the Mini Mushroom, which puts you in teeny tiny proportions. But these new sizing abilities don't really help you in your platforming prowess. But don't fear. Mario's armed with all the jumping tricks he's learned from previous Mario games to help you get through the 2D shiitake-covered kingdom. Aside from the nostalgic single-player mode, new Super Mario Bros. Also features a variety of multiplayer modes, such as Mario vs. Luigi.
Why do you always pick Mario, Charles?
Why do you always have to be Luigi?
Why do you guys keep appearing in the show? In the beginning, new Super Mario Bros. Overall is both the Band-Aid. But once you reach the fourth world, you start to notice it's getting a bit repetitive, and the new power-ups don't seem to be of any use. It needs power-ups it had in previous Mario games, like Yoshi, for the ability to fly. Although graphically better than previous Mario side-scrollers, new Super Mario Bros. Just doesn't seem to live up to the games that it's trying to recreate. But there's still no better side-scroller to be found on the DS. We give new Super Mario Bros. A 4 out of 5.
The best thing about the game is that we know Super Mario Galaxy is following on its heels.
And even if the game isn't as amazing as some of its predecessors, getting to revisit the 2D version of the Mushroom Kingdom just feels like going home.
Wonderful. Now, thanks for watching Xplay, everyone. We know you don't have anything better to do, but we still appreciate it.
Yes,
we
it helps me
appreciate
eat.
you.
Which helps me live. Speaking of human carnage, the official sport of reconstructive dental surgery is back, and it's on the Xbox 360. Here's our review of NHL 2K7.
I want to see you play tight out there. Let's go.
Lace up your skates, sharpen your stick, adjust your jockstrap. It's hockey time. The greatest sport you've never watched, appreciated, or even understood is back. It's a major Canadian celebration with maple syrup selling out everywhere from Montreal to Calgary to Saskatchewan. For Canadians, this is their 4th of July. He scores! Ah, that's right. Usually during our hockey reviews, we cut to our hockey analyst, the Canadian guy.
All right, who's going to step up tonight?
But he was shot, or died, or quit. I was never quite clear on what happened with that character. Anyway, he's no longer here, and that's a shame, because he'd really get a kick out of NHL 2K7.
And it does the trick.
This would be the part where the Canadian guy would say something like, wee, I liked iced tea, or something that didn't really make much sense. The Canadian guy would love this game. All Canadians will love this game. It's pure hockey. It's what you'd expect from the NHL 2K series. There's not much change here between 2K7 and 2K6. On the 360, the visuals are a tinge better. The players look reasonably like their real-life counterparts. Although, since they are hockey players, who the heck would know? Oh. See, when I say something derogatory about hockey like that, the Canadian guy would usually cut in and say something like, wee. How dare you say that to me? I miss the Canadian guy. I'd sell my soul to see the Canadian guy again. That was odd. Now, if you're an honest-to-goodness hockey fan, you'll appreciate the tough AI. They bring the pain, they bring the game. They're tough. They're men. Real, true Labatt's blue-loving hockey men. And that, as always, leads to what Americans will always love about hockey. The dancing. I could have sworn I saw the Canadian guy. That would be impossible. Rewind that footage. Huh. I must be watching too much Star Trek 2.0 or something. Even if you're not a die-hard hockey fan, there's much to love about this game. There's the sudden death shootout. Still the most exciting moment in sports to some people.
It's a shootout goal.
These quote-unquote some, of course, are Canadians. I have got to lay off the Loco Roco. I'm seeing things again. As we've said, and as you've seen, NHL 2K7 is all you'll need for your hockey-loving needs. The main thing wrong with this game, even though it's the best, it's still more of the same, and we'd like to see a bit more out of the 2K7 series.
I think it took the goalie by surprise.
We give NHL 2K7 4 Guy Lafleurs out of 5.
Oui. I love the hockey. Ho, 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 ho.
Oh my God! Has the Canadian guy returned? To be continued in an upcoming Xplay hockey review.
We make fun of Canada because we love it. You know, in the condescending way you love a smaller, weaker allied nation right next to your big, powerful imperial nation.
Now, there are many things we love about Canada. For instance, their Governor General, Michael Jean, is a stone fox.
That is one fine piece of constitutional figurehead. Plus, we also appreciate Canada's long traditions of cleanliness, quality sketch comedy, and love of moose.
But really, what we mostly love is that Her Excellency is by far the sexiest acting head of state in the Western Hemisphere. Ooh, yeah.
For Mario Golf.
Yeah, it does look pretty good, which is more than we can say for this next game. Check out Fighting Force for the N64. Even if you have fond memories of Final Fight and Streets of Rage, you may want to give a good think before playing Fighting Force 64 for the N64. In the game, you play one of 4 characters that have the same basic attacks with a few special attributes and special moves thrown in. Playing the game consists of entering a new area and beating up all the bad guys the game keeps on throwing at you. There are 7 different levels comprised of 25 different stages. This means there's lots and lots of the same thing to do over and over again. And, can you believe it, it gets boring real fast. You have to stay in the same area of a level until all the enemies have been defeated, and there seems to be an endless supply of mean fellows to pound. There's no diversity in the manner of their attacks, so the game quickly descends into meaningless button pounding. The graphics are also nothing to scream about. It's a little better than the PlayStation version, but the game suffers from slowdown when there are too many characters and objects on the screen. Fighting Force may have been a good game if the designers had created different types of enemies and offered more attacks for both you and them. Ryan McDonald from VideoGames.com gives Fighting Force 64 a 4 out of 10.
Well, if that didn't do it for you, seriously, hold out for Fighting Force 2 on the Dreamcast and on the PlayStation. It's already looking better.
Couldn't get much worse.
Jaded.
And Morgan Webb.
That's just false advertising.
I know, I feel like the MC run. And welcome back to Xplay. Guess what? We have a review of WWE WrestleMania 19. You know what that means?
It means there's another opportunity for you to humiliate yourself on camera.
That's right. That's right. What's more fun to watch than a bunch of grown men in ties playing grab ass with each other? The answer? A bunch of beautiful grown women and men in tights playing grab ass, then smashing each other through tables and other various objects. Well, at least that's the conclusion Vince McMahon and the WWE have come up with. And who knows, they might be onto something here. So it is safe to say you're going to find plenty of co-ed smashing, hitting, kicking, body slams, and whatever this move is called in THQ's newest grappling game, WrestleMania 19. Oh my God, they're already on 19? This game makes use of a grappling system that incorporates both light and powerful grapples. You'll generally want to lead off a match with a simple, fast technique and build up momentum towards your more powerful slams and eventually your finishers.
Another welcome addition to the grappling system is the inclusion of location damage, allowing your wrestlers to work on an opponent's specific body part, eventually leading to a submission victory. Submit! Ouch. Okay, now that just seems plain mean. Most of the other facets of WrestleMania 18's gameplay have remained intact, including the difficult move countering system and the need to generate momentum in order to perform your trademark maneuvers. The only serious flaw in the game's wrestling mechanics is your aggressive opponent, particularly in handicap matches. Don't expect a three-way dance to be a fair fight. The characters have been noticeably improved from those in last year's game, with more facial and body detail. Nice back. Anyone bring a comb? There are only a handful of arenas, but wrestler entrances are done quite well, including impressive lighting effects, good-looking crowds, and all the flashy pyrotechnics fans of the WWE have come to know and love. The sound is much improved over last year's game as well, with much more powerful sounding slams and grunts. But there also are decent voice clips for everyone's favorite tough enough trainer, Al Snow.
Are you listening to me?
One of the weakest points in WrestleMania 19 is the story mode. You'll be fired by Vince McMahon and then enlisted by the billion-dollar Princess Stephanie McMahon in a ludicrous plan to ruin WrestleMania.
I devised a plan to hit him where he will feel it the most.
Your mission is basically to go around trashing stuff and beating up rent-a-cops and construction workers. Almost like you're kicking the snot out of the village people. It's raining men. Hallelujah. Still, WrestleMania 19 is a definite improvement on last year's game. We give it a 3 out of 5.
No wrestling in the hallways.
Damn. Stephanie McMahon looks like a man in that.
Yeah, but I noticed that Laura Swisher beat everyone's asses. I like that part.
Cool and everything. Okay, one more thing. In the story mode, you go to a factory and beat up steel workers. I mean, did the developers have any idea how stupid it is to watch a wrestler attack blue-collar workers in a steel mill? They toil in a factory. They do not need the added indignity of having Goldust sit on their face. That's humiliating.
Kind of like wrestling in a rainbow.
Welcome back. Now, as you may have seen with the upcoming Dreamcast title Power Stone, the next generation of 3D fighting games are beginning to use their entire environment as a more integral part of the game.
They're taking it from wrestling games. But, you know, Ehrgeiz is on the way. It's already been released in Japan, and it's definitely fitting in that next-gen fighting territory. But does it stack up?
Ever since its announcement in late 1997, Ehrgeiz has been among the most eagerly awaited games for the PlayStation. The excitement was understandable, considering the collaboration of Squaresoft and Namco. Unfortunately, many of those who have been eagerly anticipating the game's release might be disappointed in the final results. The title of the game comes from a sword that represents the strongest fighter in the world. The game follows the pattern of Tekken 3, with elaborate stories and subplots, animated in high-quality motion-captured FMV, and broadens its appeal with the inclusion of characters from the Final Fantasy series. The gameplay follows Dream Factory's Tobal series, in that fighters battle it out in a 3D arena. Although the game includes the addition of an unintuitive blocking system, which requires you to leave the joystick neutral in order to block high, while pressing guard makes your characters crouch and block low. Expect to spend some time getting used to this blocking mechanism, especially considering that you will find yourself with your back to your opponent on many occasions. Graphics in the game are among the best on the PlayStation, yet they are not as impressive as Tobal 2. The game, though, has impressive visuals and high resolution, and it moves at 60 frames per second. At the same time, the camera offers up some of the most awkward angles ever in a 3D fighter. Ehrgeiz is a faithful port of an arcade game that just doesn't stand up to other games in its genre. Despite the impressive graphics, there's just not much of a game here. Che Chu from VideoGames.com gives it a 5.8 out of 10.
I've played it. It's fun, but my vote is still on Power Stone.
Hey, you still can't rip Tekken 3 out of my hands.
It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to Xplay. Now, I love to complain about game franchises that produce too many titles, and one anime pirate show is in the process of joining the ranks. Here's a review of Piece Pirates Carnival.
I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
What? One Piece again? It seems like we just reviewed a video game based on that anime a few weeks ago. Oh, wait. That's right, we did. It was called One Piece Grand Adventure, and it was terrible. What on earth could be worse than that?
One Piece Pirates Carnival!
Of course. One Piece Pirates Carnival for the PS2 is a party game in the vein of Mario Party. In fact, it's almost exactly like Mario Party. In fact, it's a complete rip-off.
Really lame.
You know, when I think of carnivals, I think of cotton candy, funnel cakes, and a gang of drunk carnies making me dance with them behind the tilt-a-wheel when I was 13. But this game contains none of that fun. All it offers is a collection of about 40 mini-games which range from passable to poor to stab me in the eye patch painful.
Stop trashing me!
Well, look, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Fortunately for fans of the anime, you get to commandeer all of your favorite characters, like Monkey D. Luffy,
I'll be king of the pirates!
Nami the Navigator,
Who wants to be a poor pirate?
and this raccoon thing.
I'm not a raccoon. I'm a reindeer human.
Whatever you say, raccoon. The biggest problem with One Piece Carnival is that the minigames just aren't fit to swab the poop deck.
Too bad.
A lot of them are dull variations on already popular games.
Start Pirate Dodgeball!
For example, this one here is just a ripoff of the card game Concentration. And this remake of Where's Waldo is unimaginatively titled, Where is Panda Man? He's wearing pasties. This almost makes me miss the raccoon.
I'm not a raccoon. I'm a reindeer human.
And the minigames that aren't ripoffs are usually just uninspired button mashers.
Not good!
Between each challenge, you're treated to nonsensical dialogue between the oddball opponents.
I'm a rubber man! There's no way I could lose to you!
Okay, I don't even know what that means.
I'm strong and I'm rubber!
I'm still confused.
I'll be king of the pirates!
Okay, now I get it. In order to make up for these shortcomings, One Piece Pirates Carnival tries to make it up to you by throwing a bunch of lame extras your way. You can collect from a wide selection of character cards from the TV show. And you can unlock replayable sound clips from the game. So, if you enjoy listening to pirates make no sense whatsoever, this is the game for you.
Food! Meat! Food! Meat!
Let's face it, this game is a disappointment. I mean, how could a game with pirates be bad? They're pirates, for God's sake.
I don't really like pirate games.
Yeah, after playing this one, neither do we.
I'm Paul.
Fear not, viewers, this is the end. One Piece Pirates Carnival gets 2 raccoons.
I'm not a raccoon. I'm a reindeer human.
Out of 5.
Commandos Behind Enemy Lines was a squad-based game that involved stealth, strategy, and a good use of a sniper rifle. And now Eidos has released an expansion pack.
We have Commandos Beyond the Call of Duty on the grill. Commandos Beyond the Call of Duty is a standalone expansion pack to the original Commandos Behind Enemy Lines. Behind Enemy Lines was a surprise hit. It cleverly combined strategy, puzzle, and action elements to create an unusual and exciting game. And at first glance, Beyond the Call of Duty is more of the same with a few new bells and whistles. The Beyond the Call of Duty expansion pack has 8 missions, while the original had 3 times that many. And this time around, the game is even more difficult. It starts out frustrating and stays that way. The original Commandos was satisfying because its puzzle-like situations had specific solutions. By comparison, the missions for Beyond the Call of Duty seem clumsier. After completing a mission, it often seems like it happened by luck instead of good level design on the developer's part. The interface doesn't really lend itself to multitasking, since the Commandos are slow to respond and need to be micromanaged. And it certainly isn't any easier in this game, since all the hotkeys have been switched around and players are not allowed to customize their keyboards. While there have been subtle changes, many of them adversely affect gameplay. Overall, fans of the original game will enjoy Beyond the Call of Duty because of the inherent similarity to the original. However, gamers new to the series will likely become frustrated with insanely difficult levels and cumbersome controls. Greg Kasavin of GameSpot.com gave Commandos Beyond the Call of Duty a rating of 6.6 out of 10.
You never know when you're gonna get Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
We're back, and we have a Mortal Kombat game for the Game Boy Advance.
You know, at this point, there are more Mortal Kombat games than you can shake someone's spine at. Almost every Mortal Kombat game made it onto the original Game Boy, and 2 have been ported to the GBA.
Well, now it's time for Mortal Kombat
Tournament Edition. And it's the first time the new characters introduced in the multi-platform release of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance are appearing on the Game Boy Advance. Does that excite you?
Very much.
I'm excited.
Yes.
This is the review.
Finish him!
Finish him! Oh my god, Cage just started to kill me. Yes, kids, the game that put the K in combat is back for a few more rounds of old school wax. Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition follows last year's release of Dark Alliance. Some impressive detail finds its way into the tiny devils that take the stage here. A rotating 3D background adds dimension to the famously 2D characters. The moves are pretty much like you remember them. The real hero of this game, also just like you remember, is the blood. Gurgling gallons of pixelated plasma. Remember the joy you got when you first played Mortal Kombat? And the other person or game was just beating your butt like a taut Cuban bongo? Then came that point in the middle of a hard-fought match, when you know you really nailed your adversary. Ye freaking ha! Get that warm feeling back, folks, at the portable location of your choice. Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition brings some new blood into the ring. Check out this guy. His name is Borracho, which happens to sound very close to borracho, Spanish for the friendly neighborhood boozer.
Good times.
He seems to dabble in the drinking arts, staggering around like Jackie Chan in Drunken Master. He also seems to employ the bad egg roll I ate, the Technicolor yawn technique of puking all over the floor. This causes other foes to slip for a few secs, which in turn gives you time to pummel them.
Good times.
Of course, no one will be denied their precious fatality moves.
Good times.
Johnny Cage and Scorpion are back, along with Raiden and Reptile, and that cool announcer, who we love to hear say...
Good times.
How wins fatality.
Oh, and of course, there'll be more of those kooky contests and tag team modes, which almost seem like some freakish form of doubles at Wimbledon. If you're wondering how Tournament differs from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, realize that the graphic quality is very similar. The only differences are a few new backgrounds and some new characters. Our suggestion is that if you have Mortal Kombat Dark Alliance for your GBA, save yourself some clams. After all, you played this game before. We give it a 3 out of 5. So, more or less, Borracho fights and throws up at the same time, which is virtually every frat party that exists rolled into one very fat man.
That's gross. Here's a game about a young boy providing just such labor. Enjoy our review of Contact.
Picture this. You're in a park. It's a lovely, non-eventful day. You're more than content to just sit there and daydream. Ah, the calm and peaceful forest. Oh, look, bunnies. Oh, and sheep. Wow, mountain goats. That was weird. No matter. Back to the calm and the... Snakes, skeletons, wizards, monsters, killer refrigerators. Ha ha! Woof. Thankfully, it was just a dream. Or was it? Okay, actually, it's a game. Contact for the Nintendo DS, a new RPG that follows the adventures of Terry and his buddy the Professor as they traverse their island world in search of green power cells, adventure, and baths. One of the coolest things about Contact is that you, the gamer, are part of the story through a techno marvel known as a DS. The Professor is able to contact you, the gamer, directly in order to elicit your help in guiding Terry along his journey. Oh, there's the Professor now. Well, yes, Professor, we try and be unique.
Why are we here, Millie? To sell a joke about uniqueness, Vanilli. Oh.
Let's get this out of the way right now. This game is not Earthbound, nor is it a sequel to the 90s NES RPG. They share a similar quirky, offbeat, fourth wall-breaking style, but that's it. Sorry, Earthbound fan club. Sequel. As with most RPGs, your stats will increase based on your activities, but you're also able to customize Terry's skills simply by acquiring and changing his outfits. For instance, the Mr. Cuisine uniform allows you to cook, and the Hydro suit gives you water-based attack powers. The game designers, however, will have to explain why only monks are allowed to dig.
Terry runs into a lot of enemies along his journey. Well, technically, he can run past, into, or around nearly every enemy in this game with virtually no repercussions. And that's just as well, because the biggest complaint you can have with Contact is the fairly weak, you hit me, I'll hit you, repeat battle system. Sure, that's standard, but in a game so unique in other ways, you have a right to expect more. All in all, Contact is a solid, fun, unique RPG that just might make you forget all about that missing Earthbound sequel.
Why won't you give us a sequel?
Contact gets a 4 out of 5.
I wish I had someone to collect my power cells for me. I always end up having to dig through my laundry to find them.
Why do you need power cells?
To power my ship.
Do you mean quarters for the bus?
It's more fun to think of them as power cells.
Game worth sticking around for, audience, and I say this in a rare moment of sincerity. Thank God that passed. Believing in things hurts me.
While Morgan recovers, let's take a trip to America's 50th state, Hawaii, for a game that refuses to place any boundaries on street racing. Here's Test Drive Unlimited.
This is Test Drive Unlimited for the Xbox 360. A game chock full of so much moto awesomeness, your 360 will literally turn into a car like that kid from the cartoon Turbo Teen, drive through the wall of your room, and honk the theme from Knight Rider. Okay, that's really not how it's gonna go down, but Test Drive Unlimited will definitely rev the engine of console-based race fans and send them sprinting for their crappy, tricked-out Honda Civics. Now, although the game is called Unlimited, that's not exactly true. You are limited to the lush, beautiful, and huge island of Oahu in Hawaii, which at times ends up looking a lot like Kentucky. Once you've arrived on the island as one of several totally extreme characters, you can set about the business of test drive, hauling serious ass in the fastest cars the world has to offer. But that's not all. These are the lifestyles of the rich and furious, which means you'll also get to buy homes all over the island to house your many tricked-out whips, deck your character in only the poshest gear, and hobnob with the lovely ladies of Oahu, who don't seem to be Hawaiian at all.
I'd rather walk.
Oh, no!
But that's neither here nor there. At its core, this game is about one thing and one thing only, getting your race on. And you will in any number of exotic, domestic, and classic rides. There's so many, in fact, that I think this calls for a...
Smoking Web's overly intense descriptions.
There's so many cars in this game, you're gonna grab your Xbox, throw it through a window in your neighbor's house, crash through his wall, and yell, "You play this game, there's too many effing cars!"
Intense!
But Morgan, where do I get the money to buy these fabulous cars? I certainly don't make enough serving bloomin' onions at Outback Steakhouse. No sweat. Make money the old-fashioned way. Racing! Go! There are various styles of race to choose from that should please Gran Turismo and Burnout fans alike. You can also earn bread the old-fashioned way, picking up hitchhikers, which in the game looks like this.
Buongiorno. My bag's very heavy and I tire.
Damn it!
But Morgan, so far this sounds just like every other racing game I've ever played. Well, it is. Until you go online, and that's what sets this game apart. Logging onto Xbox Live blows the world of Test Drive Unlimited wide open, as the island suddenly goes from your own personal speed paradise to a world populated by hundreds of other online racers and Outback Steakhouse employees. But be warned, they're not just there for show. You can challenge and be challenged at any time simply by pulling alongside other players and flashing your headlights. Once your challenge is accepted, set the race course, then floor it and show T-Bob 467 who the baddest driver in online Oahu really is. Hopefully it's you. Bottom line, if you like racers, and you've got a 360, and you're not afraid to socialize online, then this game is going to use a nitrous canister to rear-end you right into blown Mineville. As long as that's a place in Hawaii. Test Drive Unlimited gets a 4 out of 5.
With Matrix fever in full swing, gamers everywhere finally have the opportunity to jack in and enter the Matrix.
You choose either Ghost or Niobe and play through a storyline that runs roughly parallel to the movie The Matrix Reloaded. Both characters have exceptional kung fu skills and the ability to slow down time and pull off superhuman feats. But it won't take long before most players realize that they probably should have taken the blue pill. The main problem with Enter the Matrix is that there's nothing in it you haven't seen before. Slow motion is cool and all, but once you've seen the handful of extra moves it lets you do, the novelty wears off quickly. Thanks to the simplistic controls, repetition is the name of the game. Here's how you take out almost every enemy in the game. Flip towards them, disarm them, kick them a few times. Repeat 5,000 times until the end of the game. Excited yet? After a few levels, it's hard to ignore the fact that all you're doing is beating people up, going to the next room, beating more people up, and watching cutscenes.
Like Augustine, I'm dedicated to a higher purpose.
What's that?
Onanism.
I'm dedicated to not knowing that.
Celibacy's a hands-on job.
Those personal habits aside, Enter the Matrix is more valuable as a reference material than as a game. The cutscenes fill in a lot of the gaps in the Matrix Reloaded story. The occasional driving sequences don't break up the action so much as grind it to a dead stop with their floaty controls and less inaccurate handling. But hey, you get to watch that cool truck crash as much as you want. Don't even get me started on the real-world level where you fly Niobe's hovercraft ship. Look at that. What's even happening there? This level is so badly made, it's like I'm playing Sewer Shark on the Sega CD again. Technical problems plague all versions of the game. The console versions actually tend to lock up after extended periods of play. Oh, and PC owners should stay far away. Look at this. Even on our top-of-the-line Alienware, Enter the Matrix bogs down to an unplayable slideshow during fights. Unacceptable. The best part of Enter the Matrix is the hacking mode. This lets you hack into your save games. You can enter cheat codes and unlock new things, like a bland but functional multiplayer mode. Woo! Nothing like a pitch kung fu battle between a seamstress and a janitor to get the blood pumping. Ah. You know, when the best feature of your game is the cheat menu, you've got problems. Xplay gives Enter the Matrix a 2 out of 5. Let's hope future Matrix games are worth taking the red pill for.
It's nice to have something to look forward to.
Indeed it is.
From supernatural space odysseys to the classic Quest, our next game takes you into the realm of fantasy.
So, prance through a land of elves and goblins. We have Might and Magic 7 for Blood and Honor on the grill. Might and Magic 7 for Blood and Honor follows the same formula as past games in the Might and Magic series. There are a lot of monsters to fight, lots of quests to undertake, and lots of levels to be gained. But this time out, New World Computing has added something that had been lacking in previous versions, a cohesive story.
Killed at least half a dozen of them.
Might and Magic 7 takes place in the Heroes of Might and Magic III Kingdom of Arathia. Humans and elves are at war, and as the Lord of the Realm, you are responsible for naming a successor after the Arbiter of War dies. Your decision will have a dramatic effect on the rest of the game. Each side has advantages and disadvantages. Areas that may be safe for the followers of light are treacherous for the followers of dark, and vice versa. Graphically, the engine is crude by today's standards, and even with 3D acceleration, the game doesn't look that great. However, character portraits have been improved, and the animated renderings when you enter a building are really nice.
Please be on the lookout for our missing contestants.
The combat system remains the same as in number 6. Players can alternate between real-time combat and turn-based combat, and gamers should prepare for a lot of combat. Overall, Might and Magic 7 is an enjoyable and compelling game that doesn't stray far from the Might and Magic formula. Ron Doolin of GameSpot.com gave Might and Magic 7 Blood and Honor a rating of 8.3 out of 10.
Run for your lives.
And Morgan Webb.
Hi, Xplay's on again. Just keeps happening like that, doesn't it? Day after day, I return to your television, each day a little more tired of my own shtick. Well, this is the hell I've heard so much about, isn't it?
You know, one day I'm gonna find a door out of here, but, you know, that's how life works. The same things bouncing into your life over and over. And it's about to happen again, because there's a new hockey game out, and you know what that means. Here's NHL 07.
Ah, sports. But not just any sports. Winter sports. Winter sports with sticks and masks. Sounds mysterious, don't it? But it ain't, eh? It's hockey. And this is NHL 07, the second of 2 hockey games out now for the Xbox 360. The other, NHL 2K7, both exemplify the glory and the passion of a sport not tainted by steroids, but by gambling. But NHL 07 just might look better. And when you're playing a heated Vancouver-Toronto match, looks are important. There was once a time when America loved hockey. But now, we give more love to hot dog eating champions than we do to the Stanley Cup. But our onion soup loving friends to the north love hockey. So this review is for Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great honor to bring back to an Xplay hockey review after too long away, the one, the only, the Canadian guy.
Eh oui, oui, oui. I love the hockey. Ho, 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 ho.
All the teams you'd want to play with are here, of course. But when you can immerse yourself in the interprovincial rivalry of Calgary-Edmonton, why play with anyone else? It's pretty hard to screw up a hockey game, and NHL 07 has all the basics down pretty well. But we wish it focused a bit more on defense. NHL 07 is really only geared towards offensive skills. There is defense, of course, but it's just not the priority.
Eh oui, oui, oui. What's up with the D?
Good point, Canadian guy. Defense is half of hockey. It'd be nice to use it once in a while.
And 3 unanswered goals set up there now.
Also, the AI here is nowhere near as good as it is in 2K7. Sometimes you can skate around willy-nilly style. Or, since this is hockey, the nilly-do-willy style. The game moves with a decent flow, and it's really simple to pick up and play. NHL 07 has always had a good control system. This time out, it's no different. With the controls, you can actually simulate the use of a hockey stick, which is important considering this is a hockey game. The sticks are kind of crucial.
Wee, wee, wee.
While NHL 07 gives you a good game of hockey, it's just not as good as NHL 2K7. But A forever at NHL 07, we bet next year you just might pass the 2K series. Just not this year. We give NHL 07 3 Yzermans.
And that's it.
Out of 5.
Eh oui, oui, oui. I love the hockey. Believe it. Believe it. Believe it.
Didn't someone shoot that Canadian guy?
Yeah, but apparently there was this one fan who believed in him and collapsed when he came back to life. So thank you, Matt Doyle of I Don't Care New York. Thank you for bringing back a recurring character we all hate and I risk jail time to get rid of.
So you shot him?
Maybe.
Hint, hint. And they produced several second-rate surrealists.
I ain't buying it, but Jean-Claude Van Damme would make a hell of a hero unit, kicking alien ass time cop style.
Speaking of segues, Jean-Claude Van Damme was featured in the film version of Street Fighter back in 1994.
Funny you should mention that, Adam. Don't we have a review of a Street Fighter game coming up?
Why, yes we do, Morgan. Here's Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max for the PSP.
Hey, remember me? You played me when the circular fruits in your loom were a lunar landscape. When your cereal had more sugar than milk. Before there was Jenna Jameson, there was me. You and I ruled. And we can rule again. Anytime, anywhere, with anybody we want. Let's play.
Beat 'em up, guys!
Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max for the PSP brings the awesome might of the street fighting boys, girls, and beasts to bear on Sony's favorite portable. But Adam, I hear you chortle. Is it nadtastic? Is it testicurific? Will it render my romance with internet porn a forgettable indiscretion of youth? No, cherished demographic. it won't.
Face it straight!
Upon game insertion, you'll tear up as if someone tenderly blew a handful of pure Studio 54 disco dust in your face. There's that voice, brimming with overly confident masturbational superlative.
Beat 'em up, guys!
You know what his favorite thing to do is?
Let's party!
You know what his favorite sexual position is?
Face it straight!
That's right. Sure, all your favorite characters are here with all their laughable phrases, their life bars sucking savagery, their fits of mystic sorcery. If you're familiar with the title, the first thing you'll notice is the new control scheme you're going to have to master in order to operate these bite-sized brawlers. The PSP nubbin feels like you're thumbing the nipular minutia of Granny's mammies. Not the ideal thing to unleash your Street Fighter's more complex moves on now, is it? You're able to choose between fight styles. The ISM system allows you to match your moves to your foes, or not. This dimensionalizes your fighter's routines when confronting other techniques. There's 15 game modes, 37 characters, and a wireless tournament mode. Sangre de Cristo's fight fan. This tiny digital suitcase is packed. Yet, is it enough? Especially when you consider that it is the only game on the disc. We thought the stock control scheme on the PSP made a traditional approach to Street Fighter a mess, and some of the game modes could have truly been kicked to the curb. The sights and sounds of the title are 2020, oh treasurer of great titles past, so if you need to take the street with you, have at it. We give it a 3 out of 5.
Let's party! Go for broke!
That Chun-Li is quite a woman. She delivers a spinning bird kick to my heart.
They sort of crunched on the PSP, but getting to see the Street Fighter gang is like a love letter from 1992.
You're still nursing a crush on E Honda, huh?
We did it all just to get people to take sumo seriously. You may only be an Uzumi, but you're a Yokozuna to me.
That sounded truly beautiful for something that made no sense.
And Morgan Webb?
No, who are they? Welcome back to Xplay.
For the past 10 years, the Tales of series has been providing us with games that push the boundaries of RPG fighting.
Unfortunately, the Tales of series has limited itself to fictitious locations.
Thus removing the possibility of the Tales of Dayton, Ohio role-playing game so many of us are dying to play.
As well as the Tales of Duck RPG, I personally would give my eye teeth to play.
Sometimes in my dreams, I am Weber Gale.
But these are simply fantasies. Here's the reality, a review of Tales of Legendia.
Japanese role-playing game. The very phrase conjures up images of legendary battles, majestic stories, and noble, virtuous heroes.
Greetings! I'm Cupo of the Orosoren.
Okay, so much for that. In Tales of Legendia for the PS2, you play as Senel, a brave warrior out to uncover the truth about his destiny. You and your sister are out monster hunting when your ship runs aground on a mysterious floating island. The locals kidnap the girl.
Quit your whining.
Staking her for a mystical entity referred to in an ancient prophecy.
So, she's come.
It's up to you and a crew of wacky yet lovable anime characters to save her from the requisite deep-voiced bad guy. It doesn't help that your lead character isn't too bright.
We're standing on a giant ship, a remnant of an ancient civilization. A ship.
Wait,
a ship?
Fortunately, the battle system is fast and furious.
Watch your backs, they're behind us.
Like the other Tales games, Legendia allows you to control your characters in real time as you fight. The game features special moves that allow you to slow down time and rack up big combos with your teammates.
We win!
Unfortunately, it doesn't let you play cooperatively with real-life friends, which was a highlight of Tales of Symphonia.
Shadow Rush!
The only other downside is that each fighter repeats their catchphrases way too often. Enough already. It is helpful to receive on-the-fly battle strategy during the fight.
Be careful of its web, it'll trap you in an instant.
But you'll have a hard time making out what everyone is saying since they all talk over one another. One at a time, please. And if there was ever an award for best accidental groping scene in a video game, this would have to get a nomination.
Hey, don't touch me there, you perv.
Speaking of awkward moments, there's simply no explaining this incredibly long musical number from a pair of chatty otters. Huh. I wonder what happens if we play it backwards.
Bring us the blood of 15 newborn dwarves.
Oh my!
Despite the obvious problems, we really enjoyed the world of this tale. The graphics are nice looking, and we dig the creative design of the bad guys.
Don't let its mucus touch you.
Ew. And we have to admit, despite the cliche plot and ridiculous characters, we were genuinely curious about what happened next. We actually wish we could score this one higher, but thanks to obnoxious voice acting and predictable storytelling, Tales of Legendia scores a 3.
Don't let its mucus touch you.
Out of 5.
Oh, well, what difference does it make?
Welcome back to Xplay. Please don't tell my parents this is what I do with my life.
Puzzle games can get a bit repetitive.
From Tetris to Meteos to Bejeweled, we can get caught up in a world of stacking and organizing boxes.
Want to know who loves stacking boxes? Jodie Foster.
Yeah, I hear comedian Paula Poundstone is pretty fond of stacking boxes herself.
But it's always fun to play a game that approaches puzzle games in a new way for the 10th time.
It's a refinement.
Here's a review of Bust a Move.
This here's a game for all the fellas. Try to do what that Xplay tells us. Get so sad cause you like puzzles. Play the DES like a dog with muzzles. Okay, Linus, take your stylus. Play this game like you're on the no-fly list. You say you want a game with a funky groove? Well, we've got one, and it's Bust a Move. With dual screen fishing and some wishing, your slingshot waves will complete the whole mission. By flipping bubbles from the bottom screen up to the top for a sight to be seen. There's no frustration in the DS Nation, just stay in the game like wise Perry Mason. Nothing's complicated, you may never lose, it's that kind of game, it's Bust a Move. In the city, gamers are busy. There's just no time for a long game tizzy. That's why this game has something to say about how long or short you want to play. Different mazes, different phases, almost as fun as yearly raises. There's a nice choice of modes with something to prove. It's got what you need. It's Bust a Move. Your best friend Adam, don't call him Adam, likes puzzle games like a young John Badham. This game's got more soul than that guy John Mayer. If you got friends, you've got multiplayer. The characters and graphics give off a funky jive. That's why we give this game a 4 out of 5. Someday I swear I'll visit the Louvre, but until then I'll just Bust a Move.
Why don't we all just politely ignore the fact that Adam attempted to wrap that last review?
Thanks, guys.
Really though, Adam, what were you thinking?
Thought we weren't going to talk about it.
Wasn't in my contract.
That's why I follow you around everywhere.
Welcome back to Xplay. We have returned with our final game of the show.
And what a game it is. It comes to us from LucasArts, but it has nothing to do with Star Wars.
Instead, it may be the best of all the wannabe Grand Theft Auto games, which is a backhanded compliment.
But a compliment nonetheless.
Here's our review of Mercenaries.
The Royal Australian Navy intercepted a North Korean freighter. Authorities alerted the man after uncovering it.
Let me tell you the story of Mercenaries. When it was discovered North Korea was harboring nuclear missiles, an Allied task force invaded and secured the area. But the former North Korean head of state, General Song, is still free. You hunt him and the remnants of the crumbling terrorist dictatorship as represented by a deck of playing cards, with the missing dictator as the ace of spades. Does any of this sound familiar? No? Then go read a newspaper. Whoever wrote this wasn't creative. They just watched CNN with a squirrel in their pants. So anyway, the Chinese, the Americans, the South Koreans, the North Koreans, and the Russian mafia are all smushed together in a small North Korean city with tons of firepower. I know, recipe for disaster. So you pick a mercenary. I picked the chick because, whatever.
You know me. I've got expensive tastes.
You have no allegiance and take jobs from anyone to earn cash and learn the locations of the playing card people.
You're a mercenary. You'll be working for lots of people. I know how it is.
Your jobs usually involve killing someone a specific faction doesn't like.
That's 2 officers confirmed down.
Or blowing something up for someone else. You're very well supported, with airstrikes and C4 up the Pyongyang. Detonating C4 is good. Calling airstrikes is good.
Roger, target received.
The RPG is my favorite. And yes, You blow stuff up. You blow the living crap out of it. But it turns out the Chinese don't like it if you kill too many of their people or liberate too many of their hostages.
Thanks for finding me.
Even if it's not personal and you're just doing it for the money.
You pissed off the Chinese.
They may get a little finicky when you show up there looking for a job. So you're constantly trying to curry favor with the different factions, even while playing them against each other. And sometimes a bribe works when not killing people didn't. Except for North Korea. They always hate you. There are some weird things about the game, though. For example, why does honking destroy my cover? What, Russians don't honk? Why can I walk up to someone nailing me with a machine gun and hit them on the head? Well, it turns out my little friend here sure can take a lot of bullets. Like a better tomorrow lot of bullets. It's okay, though. Your little Vixen's super strength makes the game more Rambo than reality, which is good. Reality brought us this. I'm seriously over it. Reality-addicted gamers may find it a little loose and forgiving, for the same reasons lackadaisical gamers are gonna love it. The driving is easy and intuitive. You can have supplies airlifted in by the Merchant of Menace. Yes, that's what it's called. You are fairly invincible, and the aiming is approximate in a good way. If you're looking for oppressive realism, play Rainbow Six 3. If you're looking for explosive whimsy, play Mercenaries. A 4 out of 5.
Morgan Webb!
Well, food, shelter, and discounted copies of KOTOR.
Right. Welcome back to Xplay.
Gundam. Those of you who love it too much.
Those of you who are wondering, what the hell is Gundam? The next 20 seconds of exposition are for you.
Gundam is a classic anime series about giant robots waging wars in space.
And over time, it even spun off a bunch of crappy alternate universe Gundam stories, like Gundam Seed.
Yes, if you thought Gundam Seed was something only boy robots could make, you're wrong. But you think just like I do. Here's our review of Battle Assault 3 featuring Gundam Seed.
Warriors, strap yourself into an armored mobile suit and save the universe from such otherworldly contraptions as a robot Rottweiler packing a Patriot missile battery.
Don't mess it!
That's the promise of Battle Assault 3 featuring Gundam Seed, a game where giant mountains of metal, you guessed it, battle and assault each other. Your mission: defend a series of barren planets and suburban office parks against emotional teenage warriors clad in suits of robot armor. Robot suits which strangely are equipped with Tomahawk cruise missiles. But not radiators.
Ready? Go! Overheating!
Game characters and storyline are based on the Mobile Suit Gundam Seed anime TV series, which, if you haven't seen, you won't see here either.
No. Why do I have to suffer like this?
Not that you'll be missing a great deal of compelling dialogue, as the pubescent pilots are rarely capable of coherent thought anyway.
What? Why?
Even less clear is why a corporate mega conglomerate would build a cubicle farm in outer space to begin with, or why robots would want to fight over it.
Who's gonna clean this up?
Hey, that was the parking structure.
Ready? Go!
Each battle puts you in the driver's seat of a pre-selected Gundam, and you'll either send your opponents to the giant robot junkyard or waste a significant amount of taxpayer money trying. But before your itchy little trigger finger can start blasting hulking humanoids to smithereens, players new to the game might want to put down your joysticks and pick up the instruction manual.
No. Why do I have to suffer like this?
The game assumes a certain level of pilot experience, so if you've already mastered the fighting moves of other games, then get ready to rumble. But new players may find the game's lack of instruction daunting. Controls are kludgy and unresponsive, and advanced attacks may or may not do what you think they will.
What a mess!
Each machine carries an ultimate attack, which can potentially do a lot of damage, provided you can figure out how to trigger it.
Ultimate attack! Sorry!
Checkmate. What? Battle Assault 3 is flashy enough to make performing powerful moves exciting, and battles are mercifully short. But if you're not a dedicated fan of the Gundam universe, this game won't turn you into one. The game's huge number of robots blasting each other's brains out may appeal to the short attention span crowd. But clunky controls and a weak storyline send this attempt at Robot Rampage to the recycling bin. We give Battle Assault 3 featuring Gundam Seed a 2 out of 5.
No! Why do I have to suffer like this?
It's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to Xplay.
Once, a political party in New Zealand attempted to get a hedgehog elected to Parliament, primarily as an opportunity to make prick jokes.
In addition to their growing political influence, hedgehogs have also made a significant impact on culture.
None more so than Sega stalwart Sonic, whose fast-paced antics have been thrilling America since Night Court was on the air.
Here's our review of Sonic's newest hoverboarding adventure, Sonic Riders.
As a surfer buddy of mine used to say, if you surf, surf forever. If you don't surf, don't start. What an ass. Apparently Sonic and his friends over at Sega never heard this sentiment. And while technically they ride hoverboards, I know you're all wondering if they shred air like Jessica Alba and Paul Walker, or will they be smashed into pulp like Patrick Swayze? Whether you like it or not, you'll find out in Sonic Riders. The evil Robotnik, who is apparently using his maiden name, Dr. Eggman, has set up a racing tournament that charges its entry fee in Chaos Emeralds.
I call it the X-World Grand Prix.
Then, when racers from all over the world ante up, they'll be beaten by Eggman's high-tech, all-avian team of extreme gear experts, thus winning him the emeralds fairly and squarely, and giving Sega the opportunity to sell a racing game. There's no way it can fail. This guy is the worst mastermind ever. The tracks our Care Bear colored heroes race on are complicated and eye-bleedingly vibrant. Obstacles, jumps, boosts, and flying centipedes abound. It sounds easy enough, until you try riding a surfboard that handles like a 58 Buick with Michelle Rodriguez behind the wheel and the pedal on the floor. Though the gameplay may be frustrating at times, the intensity and speed is pure Sonic. The unique track designs bleed into one big smear of panic, joy, rage, and bugs in your teeth. And all the characters look like badasses doing it, except Tails. Tails sucks.
Oh.
Your board gradually loses air as you scream down the track. Charge it with power-ups, pit stops, and completing 6 tricks Tony Hawk style. If you let your energy get too low, you'll be walking. I'm not kidding. You can draft along behind boosting characters, and there are shortcuts as well if you can never find them in the blur of everything being so exciting. And Sega has finally discovered the truth about the fall of Babylon.
Supposedly, the Babylonians were then scattered for all time. There are also rumors that the Babylon rogues were extreme gear specialists.
Nice. There are a few other modes that may occupy 3 minutes of your time, the battle modes and time challenges. But what really saves Sonic Riders from the Sega boneyard is the multiplayer. The split-screen multiplayer soars where the story mode can't get off the ground. The joy of kicking the feathered buttocks of your buddies covers a multitude of sins, because it's just fun. Enough said. There's enough energy in this title for Sonic's endless summer to go on for just a little longer. But Sonic Riders still hasn't caught that perfect wave. A 3 out of 5.
I'm getting too old for this.
Welcome back to Xplay. Now, slime is a classic part of Americana. From the muculent film that covers Kevin Federline's skin to Dragon Quest Heroes' Rocket Slime. Here's our review.
If you told me they were making a game where the hero was nothing more than a blob of goo, I'd tell you that a Rosie O'Donnell simulator was never going to fly. The truth is, a game about a blob of goo actually does exist. Luckily, in the case of Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime for the DS, that blob is a lovable lump of slime named Rocket who'd never insult Barbara Walters or make Elizabeth Hasselbeck cry. You may recognize this blue blob as the weakest enemy from the old Dragon Quest games. Well, that lump has turned his life around and now resides in the sleepy little town called Boingburg, where nothing exciting ever happens. That is, until the evil Plobs move in and bomb the crap out of everything. Wow, I haven't seen devastation like this since Hurricane Katrina.
Hey, too soon.
Sorry, I mean, I haven't seen devastation like this since I looked in the mirror right after I heard that Everwood got canceled.
That's better.
In addition to the destruction, the Plobs have also kidnapped 100 of the town's residents, and it's up to Rocket to find them and bring them home. So, what can a legless, armless ball of slime possibly do? Plenty, thanks to a creative control scheme. Rocket can roll, jump, fire himself at his enemies, and even carry and throw objects or rescued friends. Just when it seemed like all of this was going to get boring in a hurry, we met the mighty Schleiman tank. That's right, one of Rocket's talents is the ability to command a giant tank. And when Rocket gets his tank on, this game really shines. Whoa, I haven't seen a battle this intense since...
Hey, too soon.
But I didn't even finish.
Too soon.
The downside is that Rocket Slime is a bit on the easy side, and for especially adept players, it'll probably be a bit on the short side as well. But somehow, it's still really engaging, completely addictive, and one of the best DS games we've ever played. All in all, this is a very good game. And in a post-9/11, post-Hurricane Katrina, post-Steve Irwin's death America, isn't that what we all need most? Okay, this absolutely sucks. Who wrote this ending?
I did.
Well, it's awful.
Too soon?
Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime gets a 4 out of 5.
Thanks for watching and listening. Like, share and sub for more.